Hi everyone, Harry here to talk about the hearing in Georgia about the rules that the Trump-dominated 3-2 Board of Elections passed to, in most people's estimation, try to inject uncertainty into the process and potentially delay reporting in some counties, which would delay reporting of the whole state and give Trump the ability to try to work the process somewhat. And this is Georgia, which is absolutely right now a complete jump ball. Okay, so Trump manages to get three partisans on the board, and they've done a lot of things nakedly in his interest. And now they've passed these two rules, and they basically take what had been an automatic process by county officials and give them some discretion or even duty to see if there's something untoward, or to, potentially allow for a, quote, reasonable inquiry on their part before the election certification is done. Also gives these county workers in each county the ability to examine all election-related documentation during the conduct of elections. So it just seems like a recipe for, and literally, designed to make things trickier and have some counties in Georgia, including the ones way down south that are more Trumpy, actually hold things up, and that would be potentially to Trump's advantage. Okay, so there was a hearing on these rules brought by the Democratic Party, I think, of both Georgia and national. And it was, first day of it was yesterday before Judge Robert McBurney. You may have remember that name. He's the judge that Trump went to before the indictment came down in the Fulton County case by Fani Willis. And they asked him to dismiss the case, and he refused to do it, gave a very solid 9-page ruling saying, you got nothing here. And he's I think the chief judge of that level court there in Georgia that includes Scott McAfee, the trial judge in Fulton County. Okay, so we just have scanty reports of this. There's no transcript, but it looks as if he was fairly disinclined, based on what he said, to overturn the rules. And that would mean that this extra play in the joints that the Trump election board has provided for in the individual counties would go into effect. So McBurney wanted to figure out, he says, look, certification is mandatory, is it not? They have to certify. And both parties agree. And it had to occur by a certain time, right? And that both parties agree. So that made him, I think, question whether there's really much occasion for mischief by doing this. Now, reasonable inquiry and examination of information, that's what courts normally do after an election. The court in a particular state you would bring a claim to. But so here, before certification, it would be done by county officials. And who knows what that could lead to. Nevertheless, they still have to certify, the parties agree, and they have to do it by a certain time. So he said, I'm not sure what there really is for me to do here, because it's already the law that they have to certify. So I'm not sure what I can order them to do. The argument by the Democratic Party is this is really very amorphous, open-ended, a recipe for trouble. The reasonable inquiry rule provides all kinds of flexibility, but no direction. There's no way to understand when it's been satisfied and what individual actors can do. And basically, they're trying to change a straightforward process and make it into, in their words, a broad license for individual board members to seek out purported election discrepancies. Remember, that's what Trump wanted to do in Georgia last time around. Just say there was fraud and my allies in Congress will take care of the rest. So this would be a way for a ally in a particular county to raise a stink, and as we learned to the country's chagrin in 2020, and just a little smoke he can try to make a lot of fire with. Nevertheless, it looks as if the Republicans said in response, defending it, you've got to assume that the election workers will act in good faith. That's what the law is, and it's a fundamental principle. And, you just can't willy-nilly do this because of these sort of amorphous fears. So McBurney seemed to be inclined to not overturn the rules and issue a declaratory judgment. We don't know yet. And, he hasn't issued his ruling. The opinion will probably issue quickly, maybe subject to an appellate process. But there you have it, at least the hearing. At the trial level, Judge McBurney didn't seem too enthused about the prospect of entering a declaratory judgment, striking down these two new rules that the Trump partisans on the election board were able to jam through. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.